Welcome back. Castries vendors say they are bracing for the economic fallout from a ban placed on cruise ships berthing here amid fears over the spread of COVID-19.
President of the Vendors Association, Peter Ras Iper Isaac, says vendors are at the same risk as doctors, nurses and others being in direct contact with persons who may unknowingly be carrying the coronavirus. He asserted that although the situation is not the best, vendors support the cruise ship ban to some extent, recognizing that it was implemented to protect the health and well-being of them and the greater population.
I think this is the most important thing. I think that the measures that was taken before, or that were taken before, are very good measures from Mrs. Sharon Belma George. I appreciate some of the moves that she has been making. Vendors they agree with the moves. So you prefer to be, safe more than to be sorry. And we always have a little saying amongst us, precaution is better than cure. So I don't think it's all that. I think what we need to think about now is moving forward. We have crossed that hurdle. We know we have to try to be safe. We have to try to keep our people safe. We have to try to have things to help them.
However, he appealed to authorities to create an assistance plan to help keep vendors afloat in what he dubbed as an unfolding economic crisis.
It's going to hurt us tremendously, I must say, and we were feeling the effects long before they closed down. But what I'm going to say is that we probably will need some reprieve, from the, and we want to appeal to the Minister of Tourism and to work together with the Castries Constituency Council. Our vendors have been experiencing some very serious hard times. So now is not the time to be sorry about the shutting down of the NC port, but also just to think of how we will deal with the situation, knowing that the COVID-19 is here.
According to Isaac, vendors are now relying on tourists from neighboring islands like Martinique, but he lamented that Martinicans may not even decide to visit St. Lucia anymore because of the coronavirus situation back at home. He underscored that the greatest concern of vendors is that there is no certainty about when the coronavirus threat will end. For 7 News, I am Jacka Wooding.
Managing Director of Massey Stores St. Lucia Limited, Martin Dorville, spoke about panic shopping in St. Lucia after the confirmation of the island's first cases of COVID-19.
Despite government assurances that there is no need for worry, panic shoppers fear efforts to combat the virus's spread could cause shortages of necessities. Widespread panic buying of essentials such as toilet paper rolls and vitamin C supplements has hit the island's #1 supermarket chain, Massey Stores. Managing Director of Massey Stores, Martin Dorville, believes that this action is a reflection of persons' fear of the unknown circumstances which could prevail if the virus began to spread locally. He urged shoppers to understand that the action of hoarding supplies deters the ability of local suppliers to ensure that the entire populace can access necessities.
Currently, I feel comfortable saying, and the appropriate word is currently, we see no interruptions to our food supply chain. We have quite a bit of product in the pipeline, and the logistics are in place for us to be able to get those items through to our warehouse and through to our customers, through to the St. Lucian public. We are also working very closely with our local manufacturers who have been doing a phenomenal job in making sure that under some short notice that they're able to get those products on the shelf. So they have been working tirelessly, because as you can well imagine, the expectation of that kind of demand was nothing that we could have seen.
He assured a steady food supply is in the pipeline, as the supply chain has not been disrupted. However, most coveted items worldwide during the coronavirus pandemic are hand sanitizers and disinfectants. As such, the supply of these items could be an issue. Dorville encouraged people to take only what they need for a decent period of time.
To date, there are interruptions in the supply chain, as you can very well expect, because global demand has skyrocketed, right? The greatest impact is being felt on products related to disinfecting and like hand sanitizers. You have other disinfectants. In some cases, the real international brands, because if you look on our shelves, we have a variety of products. For example, there is still Discipline on the shelf. There are still there are a number of variants of disinfectant that persons can pick up.
On the subject of rationing, he said that customers can become irate if limitations are imposed on them, especially in crisis time. But if there were a formal rule imposed by the Ministry of Health, Massey would participate. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacka Wooding.
In other news, First National Bank joined several members of the private sector in supplying schools across the island with hand sanitizer to fight the spread of COVID-19. A small ceremony to mark the occasion took place at the Bay Gardens Hotel with the Ministry of Health and Education present among other stakeholders. We have more in this report.
Representatives from large and small corporate houses came together under the roof of Bay Gardens Hotel last week to answer an urgent call from the Ministry of Education concerning its plans to fight the potential spread of COVID-19 in schools across the island. Aside from the need for running water and soap at all schools, ministry officials requested a generous supply of 10 gallons or donation towards the purchase of hand sanitizer. According to the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar George, protecting our schools and our children is pivotal in curbing the spread of COVID-19.
Our children may be at school and have very mild disease and be okay, but take it home. So it is extremely important for us to reduce the transmission within the schools because and children are very loving and very huggy, and they come, and grandparents and parents and aunties. So we know children getting it very mild, they'll be okay. But the rest of the family who may have diabetes or heart disease or lung disease or kidney or liver disease, they will pose a risk to the rest of the population.
It was noted that the private sector's response was quick and very reassuring. First National Bank felt compelled to donate twice the recommended amount, offering the ministry 20 gallons worth of hand sanitizer. According to Executive Manager for Marketing and PR, Robert Favre, a pandemic shows no discrimination.
This bank was founded really on the premise of people looking after people. And this really gives us, a great opportunity to really assist the young. I think it has already been said that that is our future, and of course, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. It also gives us an opportunity to come together as one because this disease affects each and every one of us.
According to ministry officials, the virus does not affect students and parents alone, but it will also impact work productivity and the economy.
Parents, business places, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, everybody, we need to come together to work this out. Because what we need to understand is that when we close school, not just the schools that are affected, not just the students that are affected, not just the teachers who may decide they may stay home, or the ministry will tell them it is just the students who are out, you need to come back to the school. But in business places will be affected because the parents now who would have sent their children to school and they would go to work, now they are wondering, but what can we do? Then you have a number of persons, the children are at home, they don't know what to do, and then they may call now that they cannot report to work.
The Ministry of Education is also urging parents to stay away from fake news and listen for updates through the Ministry of Health and Education, through the Chief Education Officer, particularly when it comes to the closure of school. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Jenny Brown.
A British Airways captain suffering from coronavirus who flew a plane filled with passengers to St. Lucia has since been placed in isolation. The captain, who has not been named, piloted a British Airways 777 jet flight from Gatwick last Tuesday. After BA 2159 landed, the crew was given temperature tests by health officials as they walked through passport control. The captain and a member of the flight crew exhibited a high temperature and were not allowed to board the bus with other members of the crew, taking them to the terminal. Instead, they were taken to the hospital for tests and placed in self-isolation as a precaution. He was only the second person to have contracted COVID-19 on island and will remain in self-isolation. Another member of the crew who showed symptoms of the killer virus is now in self-isolation and awaiting a test result. A task force has been dispatched to conduct contact tracing and the quarantine of contacts of the patient. This is being done to ensure that all persons who have been in contact with this individual are assessed and managed as per protocol. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. When we come back, the latest sports news with tennis in Glasgow and the latest weather update.